Officer Brennan's flashlight beam cuts across Marcus Reed's face in the hospital parking lot. The light is harsh, blinding, the kind of aggressive illumination designed to disorient and intimidate. The beam doesn't waver, it's pointed directly at Marcus's eyes, making it impossible to see the officer behind it. Hands where I can see them. Now. Marcus freezes mid-reach for his briefcase, still wearing scrubs from his shift. His hospital ID badge swings from his neck, catching the flashlight beam, his name and photograph clearly visible to anyone who cares to look. But Brennan doesn't look. He doesn't want to see what's right in front of him. He's already made his decision about who Marcus is and what Marcus is doing here. This your car? Brennan circles the modest Honda Civic, one hand resting on his holster, the other gripping the flashlight like a weapon. His voice carries that particular tone of authority mixed with accusation that Marcus has heard before. Too many times before. Marcus nods slowly, carefully. Every movement deliberate. Every gesture designed not to startle, not to give any excuse for escalation. He's learned these rules through painful experience, the unwritten survival manual that black men in America carry in their minds every single day. Stolen vehicle matching this description. Step away from the vehicle. 3 more patrol cars arrive within 90 seconds. Sirens split the 2 a.m. silence of the hospital parking lot. Red and blue lights paint the asphalt in alternating waves, transforming the ordinary parking space into something that feels like a crime scene. Marcus's hands stay raised as backup officers emerge from their vehicles. Their footsteps echo across the empty lot like a drumbeat building towards something inevitable. Something that feels rehearsed, like they've done this dance 1,000 times before. One officer kicks his briefcase open without asking permission, without even pretending to ask. Files scatter across the cold ground. Medical journals with his highlighted notes in the margins. Patient charts he was reviewing on his break. A faculty parking permit with his name printed in bold letters. Research papers on trauma surgery techniques. None of it matters to them. They don't see evidence of a professional life. They see what they expected to see, what they came looking for. Have you ever been treated like a criminal while doing your job perfectly? Have you ever stood in your own space, belonging exactly where you are, only to have someone with authority tell you that you don't belong? This is one of those real-life stories that reveals how black stories like Marcus's expose, systemic problems, that run deeper than any single encounter, any single officer, any single night. Asterisk, asterisk. Before we go deeper into this story, take a second and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let us know where you're watching from. I'm curious to know how far these stories travel. Asterisk. Asterisk. Brennan calls dispatch on his radio. His voice carries across the lot, loud enough for Marcus to hear every word. Loud enough that it feels intentional, a performance of power. Suspect matches profile. Black male, late 30s. Professional clothing as disguise. Professional clothing as disguise. Marcus lets those words settle in his mind, turning them over like a surgeon examining an unexpected complication. He's wearing scrubs. Hospital scrubs. The same scrubs worn by every doctor, nurse, and medical professional in the building behind him. But to Brennan, they're a disguise. A costume worn by a criminal pretending to be something he couldn't possibly be. The assumption is clear and devastating. A black man in professional attire must be faking it. Marcus takes a slow breath. 15-hour ER shift. Double trauma surgery. A teenager who crashed his motorcycle, shattered pelvis, internal bleeding, touch and go, for 6 hours before they stabilized him. His parents were in the waiting room crying, praying, hoping. Marcus gave them hope. A grandmother whose heart stopped twice on the table before they brought her back. Her family thought they'd lost her. Marcus brought her back to them. He still has her blood under his fingernails despite scrubbing 3 times. He parked in his assigned spot, H7, like he does every shift. He has the permit. He has the badge. He has the credentials. He has everything that should matter. But none of it matters when someone has already decided what you are. His voice stays level, controlled. Years of delivering devastating news to families have taught him how to modulate his tone, how to remain calm when everything inside him is screaming. Officer, I'm Dr. Marcus Reed. I'm a trauma surgery resident here. I just finished my shift. Brennan cuts him off with a raised hand. Save the story for the station. ID could be fake. A second officer, Rodriguez, approaches from the patrol car. He's younger than Brennan, maybe late 20s, with something uncertain in his posture, something that suggests he's not entirely comfortable with how this is unfolding. He checks his computer screen, squinting at the monitor in the darkness. His brow furrows. Something on that screen gives him pause, something that doesn't fit the narrative Brennan is constructing. He walks over to Brennan, whispers something Marcus can't hear. Brennan glances at the screen, then back at Marcus. He shakes his head, dismissing whatever Rodriguez showed him. Whatever the facts say, they're inconvenient. They don't match the story he wants to tell. Run his name for warrants, Brennan orders. His voice is final, certain, closed to argument. Marcus's jaw tightens. He knows this script. He's lived versions of it before different parking lots, different pretexts. Same fundamental assumption. Same look in the officer's eyes that says guilty until proven otherwise. And maybe not even then. Officer, my shift supervisor is Dr. Helen Park. She's inside the building right now. One phone call will confirm everything. I decide who I call. Brennan steps closer, invading Marcus's space. Close enough that Marcus can smell coffee on his breath, see the tension in his jaw, the slight twitch in his cheek that suggests adrenaline or anger, or both. Hands behind your back. As Marcus turns slowly for cuffing, the contents of his open briefcase become visible to anyone looking. A lanyard with multiple key cards lies among the scattered papers. Most are standard hospital access cards, the kind every employee carries. But one is different. A black card with gold embossing, face down in the pile. The text isn't visible from this angle. A leather folder rests nearby, embossed with City Medical Board in silver lettering. Marcus's tablet screen is still lit, showing an email preview. The subject line reads, Commissioner Reed Budget Approval Meeting, 9 a.m. His phone buzzes repeatedly on the ground where it fell. The screen illuminates with each call. Mayor's office flashes across the display. Then it goes dark. Then lights up again with another call. Someone important is desperately trying to reach him. Brennan doesn't notice, doesn't care. Brennan sees none of this. His focus is on control, on procedure, on the narrative he's already constructed in his mind. He secures the handcuffs, metal clicking against Marcus's wrists, with a sound that echoes in the quiet night, a sound that Marcus knows he'll remember for the rest of his life. The hospital side entrance opens with a mechanical click. James, the night security guard, steps out. He's in his late 50s, black, wearing his uniform jacket against the October cold. He's worked at this hospital for 22 years. Knows every doctor, every nurse, every regular patient who comes through the ER doors. His eyes go wide when he sees Marcus in handcuffs. What's happening? James calls out, walking quickly toward them. Dr. Reed? That's Dr. Reed. Brennan pivots toward him, hand moving toward his belt. Stay back. This doesn't concern you. James pulls his radio from his belt. His voice is steady but urgent. We have a situation in Lot H. Dr. Reed is being detained by police. I need a supervisor out here immediately. Page Dr. Park. Page administration. Now. Get that rent-a-cop away from my scene. Brennan gestures to Rodriguez, but there's a note of something in his voice now. Frustration. Maybe. Things aren't going according to plan. Rodriguez hesitates. He's still looking at his phone, his face going pale. He glances at Marcus, then at Brennan, then back at his phone. Whatever he's reading, it's making him deeply uncomfortable. He doesn't move to intercept James. Brennan doesn't notice Rodriguez's hesitation. He's focused on James, on maintaining control of a situation that's already beginning to slip away from him like sand through fingers. The side entrance opens again. Sandra Yates, the hospital night administrator, emerges. She's holding her smartphone, already recording. The timestamp reads 2:54 a.m. Officer, I'm Sandra Yates, administrator on duty. Her voice is firm. Professional, the voice of someone who has dealt with difficult situations before and isn't easily intimidated. Dr. Reed is our chief trauma resident. He's been on staff for 6 years. He saved 3 lives tonight alone. What's the cause for this detention? Police business. Brennan turns to face her, hand moving toward his belt. Turn off that phone or you'll be joining him. I'm documenting a potential civil rights violation per hospital policy. Sandra doesn't lower the phone. Her hand is steady. This recording is being saved to our secure server in real time. It cannot be deleted. Not by me. Not by you. Not by anyone. Brennan's jaw clenches visibly. He takes a step toward her. Marcus speaks for the first time since the cuffs went on. Officer Brennan. His tone is calm, steady, the same voice he uses when he needs a panicking family member to focus, when he needs someone in crisis to hear him clearly. Miss Yates is following protocol. The hospital requires documentation of all incidents involving staff. She has every legal right to record from where she's standing. I didn't ask you to speak. Brennan doesn't look at him. More people emerge from the building. 2 nurses ending their shifts, women who have worked beside Marcus through countless emergencies. An EMT who just finished an ambulance, run and recognizes the doctor who saved his patients more than once. A janitor pushing his cart, who always chats with Marcus during late-night shifts. All of them know Marcus. All of them have worked beside him, seen him save lives, seen him comfort grieving families at 3 in the morning when no one else could find the words. All of them pull out phones. The parking lot fills with small glowing screens, all pointed at the same scene, all recording, all witnessing, the same injustice playing out in real time, documented from every angle. Rodriguez watches from his patrol car, still staring at his computer screen. The sealed advisory notice glows on the monitor. A notice he doesn't have clearance to open, but one that tells him everything he needs to know. Something is very wrong here. Something Brennan either can't see or refuses to see. And Marcus Reed, hands cuffed behind his back, hospital scrubs still on, ID badge still hanging from his neck, waits. He doesn't argue. He doesn't shout. He doesn't demand to speak to anyone. He simply waits, eyes forward, breathing steady. He knows something no one else in this parking lot knows yet. This night is going to change everything. Not just for him, not just for Officer Brennan, for the entire department, for the entire city, maybe even further than that. But that revelation is still hours away. Rodriguez finally runs Marcus's license properly through the system. The computer returns detailed information that makes his hands shake slightly. Dr. Marcus Reed, M.D. Address listed in Wellington Heights, one of the city's wealthiest suburbs. Vehicle registered to the same address. No outstanding tickets. No warrants. No criminal history of any kind. Not even a parking violation in 15 years of driving. And then a note that stops Rodriguez cold. Sealed advisory. Command, level access. Rodriguez shows Brennan the screen. His voice is quiet, urgent. His record is completely clean. Not even a parking ticket. And there's some kind of sealed file. We should probably... Plenty of criminals use fake credentials. Brennan barely glances at the information. I've seen doctors deal drugs before. We're bringing him in for verification. But the car isn't stolen. Dispatch confirmed there's no report matching this vehicle. The description we got was for a blue sedan. This is gray. Different make, different model. We finish our job. Brennan cuts him off. Standard procedure. But it isn't standard procedure. Everyone in that parking lot knows it. Standard procedure would be to verify the ID, confirm there's no stolen vehicle report, and let the man go home after his shift. Standard procedure doesn't involve handcuffing doctors in their own workplace parking lots because of assumptions that have nothing to do with evidence. Marcus stands quietly, hands cuffed behind his back. His jaw is tight, but his breathing stays controlled. This isn't anger, though he has every right to be angry. This is something else entirely. Calculation, patience, strategic thinking. He's been here before. In different forms, different parking lots, different pretexts, different officers who all looked at him the same way. His silence isn't submission. It's the response of someone who understands that the battle won't be won in this moment, in this parking lot, with raised voices and righteous anger. The battle will be won later, with documentation, with evidence, with systemic pressure applied at exactly the right points. Brennan guides him toward the patrol car, hand on his upper arm, grip unnecessarily firm. As they move, Marcus's phone vibrates again on the ground where it fell. The screen lights up one more time. Chief Wagner U. Argent flashes across the display. No one picks it up. The call goes to voicemail. The screen goes dark. At 3:11 a.m., a white SUV pulls into the parking lot. Sergeant Lisa Kowalski emerges night shift supervisor for this district. Rodriguez had briefed her by phone during the drive, his voice tight with something that sounded like fear. She walks directly to Brennan. Her posture is stiff, her expression controlled. What's your probable cause? Suspicious vehicle. Evasive suspect behavior. His car isn't stolen. He works here. 10 witnesses confirm it. Kowalski gestures at the growing crowd of hospital staff, all still recording on their phones. Uncuff him. He could still have warrants, procedure says. He has 0 warrants. I checked personally. His record is cleaner than most officers I know. Kowalski's voice drops lower, but it's still audible to those nearby. This detention is over, Brennan. Right now. Brennan hesitates. Something flickers across his face. Resentment, maybe. The realization that he's not going to get what he wanted. He unlocks one cuff slowly, then the other. The metal releases with a soft click. Marcus rubs his wrists. Red marks circle his skin where the metal pressed too tight. He says nothing. Brennan straightens, defensive now. I'm filing a report about his aggressive posture and failure to comply immediately. Let's see if the hospital likes that investigation. The implicit threat hangs in the air like a toxic cloud. Make Marcus's life difficult through paperwork, background flags, future stops. A permanent note in the system that follows him forever. Marcus speaks for the first time in 15 minutes. His voice is calm, measured, carrying no anger, just quiet certainty. File whatever you need to, Officer Brennan. I'll be filing my own report. Brennan smirks. Good luck with that. Sandra doesn't stop recording. When it's clear the immediate danger has passed, she opens Twitter on her phone, starts a new post. Our trauma surgeon, being arrested in our parking lot for matching a description. No stolen car, no crime, just a black doctor after his shift. Number, Justice for Reed. She tags the city police department's official account. Attaches the video clip. Hits post. The engagement counter starts climbing immediately. 10 shares, 30, 100, 200. Marcus sits in his Honda, collecting the scattered files from his briefcase. His movements are methodical, unhurried. Then he opens a voice memo app on his phone. Speaks quietly, clearly. October 19th, 3:19 a.m. Officer badge, 4,719. Named Brennan. Detained without cause. Handcuffed. Threatened hospital staff, who attempted to verify my identity. Sergeant Kowalski intervened after 15 minutes. Incident recorded by multiple witnesses and hospital surveillance. Officer made clear through selective enforcement and language that this was racially motivated. Adding to documentation file. He saves the memo. The file name shows automatically. Incident 48. He opens the folder where it's stored. The label reads, Pattern Documentation, 2019 to 2024. 47 other audio files are already there. Dates, times, badge numbers, locations. Some are his own encounters, traffic stops, street interactions, building entries questioned. Others are recordings sent to him by people who knew he was collecting evidence. Teachers, lawyers, pastors, engineers, all professionals, all black, all with similar stories. He's been building something, not for revenge, for reform. But no one knows this yet. Marcus starts his car and drives home. While he drives, the internet doesn't sleep. By 3:30 a.m., video clips from 4 different angles have spread across multiple platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Each platform's algorithm recognizes engagement, pushes the content higher. Comment sections explode with outrage, with shared stories, with people who've experienced the exact same treatment. The police union issues a defensive statement at 4:15 a.m. Officers followed standard protocol for suspicious activity reported in the area. No suspicious activity was reported. The statement is technically false, but it's out there now, part of the narrative the union hopes to control. The hospital releases a counter-statement at 4:45 a.m. Dr. Reed is a valued member of our medical staff and was the victim of apparent racial profiling. We are cooperating with all investigations and supporting our colleague during this difficult time. By 6 a.m., number Justice for Dr. Reed has 45,000 tweets. Cable news morning shows mention it in their trending stories segment. The video has been viewed over 500,000 times. Marcus arrives home to his wife, Angela, and 2 kids, sleeping peacefully, unaware that their lives are about to change. He doesn't wake them. He showers. He puts on a suit, charcoal gray, perfectly tailored. He makes coffee in the quiet kitchen, watching the sky lighten through the window. He checks his email on his phone, scrolling through dozens of messages that arrived overnight. At 7:15 a.m., his phone rings. Chief Wagner. Marcus lets it go to voicemail. He's not ready to talk yet. He needs to control the timing of this conversation. At 7:45 a.m., another call. The screen shows Mayor Patricia Collins' direct line. This one, he answers. Good morning, Madam Mayor. Marcus, I just saw the video. I'm so sorry. Her voice carries genuine distress. We need to talk. Can you come to my office at 9? Marcus pauses. A strategic pause. I have a better idea. Come to mine. Silence on the other end of the line. Your office? Collins sounds confused. I'll text you the address. Bring Chief Wagner. Marcus's tone is polite but firm. Not a request. An instruction. He ends the call before she can respond. The power dynamic has shifted. Marcus is no longer reacting. He's directing. And in 2 hours, everyone will understand exactly what that means. Asterisk, asterisk. Before we continue, take a second and share your thoughts so far on this story below. I read every single one. What would you have done in Marcus's position? Handcuffed in your own workplace for no reason except the color of your skin. Asterisk, asterisk. Marcus sits in an office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Morning light streams across a mahogany desk, illuminating the space with golden warmth. Behind him, an entire wall displays framed credentials in neat rows. M. D. from Johns Hopkins. M. P. H. from Harvard. J. from Yale, earned through night school, while completing his medical residency. But it's the lower row of frames that tells the real story. Chair, City Police Oversight Commission, appointed 2022. Volunteer Commissioner, Mayor's Public Safety Advisory Board, appointed 2023. Special Advisor to the Mayor, Public Safety Reform current. At 9:02 a.m., Mayor Patricia Collins enters the conference room first. She's a black woman in her late 50s, a political veteran who's worked with Marcus for 3 years on reform initiatives. Her face shows embarrassment and anger, but also weariness. She knows Marcus well enough to recognize when he's operating strategically. Chief Robert Wagner follows. White, late 50s, 28 years on the force. He's met Marcus at commission meetings, shaken his hand at public events. But clearly, he didn't connect the doctor being arrested in a viral video to the commissioner who reviews his department's policies. Dr. Reed, I can't apologize enough. Wagner starts talking immediately, his discomfort obvious. Officer Brennan will be... Sit down, Chief. Marcus's tone isn't raised. Doesn't need to be. Wagner sits. Collins sits. They face Marcus across the conference table like students called to the principal's office. Marcus opens his tablet, connects it to the wall-mounted screen. A presentation loads. Officer Brennan's personnel file appears. Complete. Unredacted. 14 years on the force. 23 civilian complaints, all dismissed or marked unfounded by Internal Affairs. Marcus doesn't editorialize. He simply highlights the numbers. 19 complaints from Black or Latino civilians, 4 from white civilians. All 19 complaints from people of color were dismissed. 3 of the white civilian complaints resulted in counseling letters. The second document. Body camera footage analysis. Marcus's team, working under Official Oversight Commission authority, pulled Brennan's last 200 traffic stops via Freedom of Information Act requests. 73% of stops involve people of color. The city's demographic data shows 42% POC population. Average stop duration for white drivers, 6.4 minutes. Average stop duration for black drivers, 18.7 minutes. 12 uses of force over 5 years. 11 against people of color. 1 against a white suspect who was actively fleeing and attacked the officer first. Wagner's face goes gray. How did you obtain all this data? My commission has independent access to all body camera footage per City Code 478B. You voted for that code in 2021, Chief. You attended the signing ceremony. The third document appears. An audio file dated March 2023. Brennan's voice, captured on body camera he thought was off, speaking to his partner after releasing a black teenager from a traffic stop. Marcus plays it. The audio quality is clear. Punk got lucky. Next time he won't have daddy's lawyer on speed dial. These kids need to learn respect. The room goes silent. Wagner tries to respond. That investigation was sealed. We handled it internally. Your department sealed it. My commission accessed it through our statutory authority. Nothing was hacked. Nothing was stolen. We simply exercised the oversight powers the city council granted us. Marcus pauses. Powers designed specifically to catch situations like this. The fourth document. A spreadsheet. Color-coded. Meticulous. 47 documented incidents of racial profiling by Officer Brennan over 5 years. 8 other officers showing similar patterns. Combined total. 312 complaints dismissed without proper investigation. Internal Affairs investigators are named. 2 of them have social media posts. Marcus's team discovered posts affiliated with white supremacist groups. Screenshots appear on the screen. Posts about protecting our neighborhoods and taking back our streets. Coded language, but unmistakable in context. Marcus finally looks up from the screen. Last night wasn't an anomaly, Chief. It was policy. Your policy. He slides a bound document across the table. 87 pages. Collins picks it up first. Her eyes widen as she scans the executive summary. She hasn't seen this part yet. Marcus kept it close until now. The 5th document appears on screen. A draft federal consent decree. Official Department of Justice letterhead. Civil Rights Division. I've been coordinating with DOJ for 8 months, Marcus says calmly. They've been investigating the department independently of my commission. Pattern and practice violations. Sufficient evidence for federal takeover. Collins inhales sharply. Marcus, you're bringing in the feds? I was bringing in the feds. Past tense. Marcus meets her eyes. I paused the process last month when you appointed me to lead the reform task force. I wanted to give the department a chance to fix itself. He looks at Wagner. Last night proved that was naive. Wagner's composure cracks. You can't unilaterally decide to bring federal oversight. The union will fight this. The mayor will have to. Madam Mayor. Marcus turns to Collins. Do you want to fight a federal consent decree in court for 2 years while the city's reputation burns? Or implement reforms voluntarily and control the narrative? Collins is trapped. Politically, supporting Marcus is her only option. He's credentialed, respected, and now nationally visible as a victim. Fighting him means appearing to defend racial profiling. What do you need? Her voice is resigned. Marcus doesn't gloat. He opens the bound document to page 1. The Accountability and Trust Initiative. I've been drafting this for 2 years with input from civil rights attorneys, community leaders, and reform-minded officers. He walks them through the key provisions. Asterisk, asterisk. Immediate actions, week 1. Asterisk, asterisk. Officer Brennan terminated. Not merely suspended. Terminated. 7 other officers with similar complaint patterns, suspended pending full review. Captain Morris, who signed off on dismissing Brennan's complaints, reassigned out of internal affairs immediately. Asterisk, asterisk. Structural changes. Months 1 through 6. Asterisk, asterisk. Mandatory body cameras always on during public interactions, with no officer control over recording functions. Independent Civilian Review Board for all complaints. Public database of every stop, search, arrest, and use of force, officer names, badge numbers, outcomes fully searchable by any member of the public. Asterisk, asterisk. Training overhaul year 1. Asterisk, asterisk. 40 hours of de-escalation training, up from the current 8. 20 hours of implicit bias workshops, up from 0. Crisis intervention training becomes mandatory, not optional. Asterisk, asterisk. Accountability metrics, ongoing, asterisk, asterisk. Officers with 3 or more sustained complaints face automatic termination review. Use of force reports reviewed by external panel within 48 hours. Traffic stop data audited quarterly by Marcus's commission. Asterisk, asterisk. The kicker, printed in bold, on page 12. Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk. Failure to comply with any provision triggers automatic implementation of the federal consent decree with no further negotiation. Asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk. If you were in Marcus's shoes right now, facing the very people who protected an officer with 23 complaints, what would you do? Would you accept their excuses? Or would you fight for something bigger? Share your thoughts in the comments. Asterisk, asterisk. Wagner tries one more deflection. This is insane. You're treating cops like criminals. We have a union contract that. Your contract requires adherence to all applicable laws. Racial profiling violates federal law. Section 1983 allows personal liability for officers who violate civil rights under color of law. Qualified immunity doesn't cover systemic discrimination when there's clear notice the conduct is unlawful. Marcus looks at the city attorney, Michelle Reeves, who's been silent until now. She nods. He's correct on the law. Wagner knows he's cornered. Accept the reforms and possibly save his career, or fight it and lose to federal intervention anyway. This is a lot to implement. We'd need budget increases, time to negotiate. You have 48 hours to accept the framework in principle. Implementation begins immediately after. The mayor has already repurposed funds from the planned new precinct building. Collins nods confirmation. She and Marcus coordinated this morning, off camera. And Chief, Marcus's voice stays level. If Officer Brennan is still employed in any capacity after tonight, I release the recordings. Everyone freezes. What recordings? Wagner's voice is barely above a whisper. The 47 interactions I've personally documented over 6 years, plus 83 more from other professionals who contacted me. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, pastors. All time-stamped. all corroborated by witnesses or camera footage, all showing the same patterns of racial profiling your department has systematically ignored. He's had this leverage all along. He's been building a case not for personal revenge, but for systemic change. And now everyone in this room understands that Marcus Reed wasn't just a random victim last night. He was the wrong person to profile. Wagner looks at his command staff, at the union reps, at the city attorney. No one meets his eyes. "I need to consult with my command staff," Wagner says finally. "You have 48 hours. Marcus closes his laptop. "I'll be waiting." He stands, walks out. The meeting is over. He dictated the terms. He'll wait for their answer. But everyone in that room knows there's only one answer possible. At 6 p.m. on October 19th, Mayor Patricia Collins stands at a podium outside City Hall. Chief Wagner stands to her left, looking like he aged 10 years in one day. Marcus Reed stands to her right, calm and composed in his charcoal suit. Camera flashes light up the evening. Every local outlet is here. National networks sent reporters. The story went viral. Everyone wants to see what happens next. Wagner reads from a prepared statement. The city will implement comprehensive police reform through voluntary initiative. Officer Brennan has been terminated effective immediately. 7 officers suspended pending investigation. Independent Civilian Review Board will be established within 30 days. Body camera policies changing next week. He doesn't mention Marcus forced this. He presents it as the department's choice leadership responding to community concerns. Everyone watching knows better. Reporters shout questions. Most are directed at Marcus. "Dr. Reed, why didn't you identify yourself as police commissioner last night?" Marcus steps to the microphone. "I shouldn't have to. Every citizen deserves the same respect, whether they're a commissioner or a cashier. That's the entire point of reform." 3 days later, Officer Brennan's termination is upheld by emergency arbitration. The union files a grievance, but doesn't push hard. The evidence is overwhelming: the viral video, the body camera footage, the documented pattern of complaints. Even the union lawyers know this is unwinnable. Brennan gives one interview to a sympathetic podcast, claims he's the victim of reverse racism and political correctness. No major outlet picks up the story. His law enforcement career is finished. No department will hire him with this record. Captain Morris accepts voluntary retirement. Pension intact. Reputation damaged. It's the compromise Marcus allows to avoid lengthy litigation. Morris leaves quietly. Asterisk, asterisk. Before we go deeper, I would love to hear your point of view. Tell me what part hit you the hardest in this story so far, and share your thoughts in the comments. Asterisk, asterisk. 1 month after the incident, new systems start appearing. The technology infrastructure launches first. An app called Clarity Now, developed by a nonprofit tech organization Marcus connected with months ago. Every traffic stop generates an automatic public record. Officer name, badge number, reason for stop, duration, outcome. Civilians can access their own stop history, see patterns, file complaints directly through the app. The app includes an optional live broadcast feature. Civilians pulled over can activate it with one button. Their phone streams directly to a monitoring center staffed by civilian advocates. The knowledge that someone is watching in real time changes behavior on both sides. Personnel changes follow. Deputy Chief Maria Hernandez is promoted to Chief of Police when Wagner announces early retirement. She's the first Latina police chief in the city's history. Lieutenant Sarah Park becomes the new head of the training academy, finally implementing the curriculum she's been designing for years. 12 new investigators join internal affairs. 3 come from outside agencies with strong track records. 9 come from underrepresented communities within the department officers who've been frustrated by the old culture and ready to build something new. The Independent Review Board seats 7 civilians, 2 retired judges, 0 current officers. Their first meeting is public. Their votes are public. their findings published online within 48 hours of each decision. Transparency becomes the default, not the exception. 3 months after the parking lot incident, training programs launch across the department. Partnership with the local university psychology department brings evidence-based implicit bias research into every training session. Officers learn about unconscious bias, how it affects split-second decisions, how to recognize and counteract it. The training isn't about blame. It's about awareness. A community ride-along program requires 40 hours from all officers. They spend shifts with community members from diverse neighborhoods, seeing the city from civilian perspectives, walking through housing projects with single mothers, sitting in barbershops, listening to young black men describe their interactions with police, eating dinner with immigrant families who came to America for safety and found suspicion instead. Some officers resist at first. Many are surprised by what they learn. De-escalation scenarios are filmed with professional actors representing various demographics, ages, and mental health conditions. The scenarios are realistic and challenging. Officers are graded not just on outcomes, but on approach, tone, word choice. A trauma-informed policing curriculum teaches officers to recognize how previous negative encounters affect civilian behavior. Someone who seems uncooperative might be experiencing a trauma response from past abuse. This context doesn't excuse criminal behavior, but it changes how officers approach interactions. It builds understanding where there was none. 6 months after Marcus was handcuffed in the hospital parking lot, the public transparency platform goes live. The website, transparency.citpd.gov, updates in real time. Every traffic stop, every arrest, every complaint, every use of force incident. Searchable by officer name, badge number, neighborhood, demographic data. Independent analysts download data sets, publish their own reports. Journalists build interactive visualizations. Community organizations track patterns and demand explanations. The effect is immediate. Traffic stops of black civilians drop 34% in the first quarter. Not because officers avoid legitimate enforcement, because unjustified stops are too risky now. Every stop is recorded, reviewed, made public. Officers can't rely on vague, suspicious behavior justifications anymore. Use of force incidents drop 52%. Again, not because officers ignore genuine threats, because de-escalation training works. Because accountability changes calculation. Civilian complaints drop 41%. Some of this is better behavior. Some is community members seeing the department take complaints seriously, feeling heard, choosing informal resolution over formal complaints. Officer morale, measured through anonymous surveys, shows 67% support the changes. Many officers are relieved. They wanted accountability too. Wanted bad officers gone. Wanted a culture that valued professionalism over aggressive dominance. The reformers weren't the enemy. They were the ones who cared enough to fix a broken system. As for Officer Brennan himself, there's no dramatic downfall, no prison sentence, no public humiliation beyond what he brought on himself. His wife files for divorce within 4 months. She's an ICU nurse who's horrified by what the investigation revealed about her husband's behavior. She doesn't want her name associated with his anymore. Brennan applies to 3 private security firms. All 3 deny him after background checks reveal the termination cause. He moves to a different state, finds work managing equipment at a construction company. No badge, no authority, no power over anyone. His name remains permanently linked to the viral video. Search his name online and that parking lot footage appears first. Always will. Marcus never mentions him again. Never gloats. Never celebrates his downfall. The system dealt with Brennan appropriately. That's enough. Asterisk, asterisk. Think about it. What if every city adopted these reforms? What if Marcus's experience became the blueprint that finally changed how policing works in America? That's exactly what started happening next. Asterisk. Asterisk. 6 months after the reforms begin, Marcus organizes a national symposium, Policing in the 21st Century, Reform from Within. 40 police chiefs attend, civil rights attorneys, community organizers, DOJ representatives. They want to learn from the city's model. Marcus's keynote focuses on prevention, not punishment. Last October, I was treated like a criminal while wearing scrubs and a hospital badge. But I'm not special. The same thing happens to teenagers walking home, parents dropping kids at school, pastors entering their own churches, professors parking in their reserved spots, business owners opening their own stores. The reform isn't about me. It's about the system that made Officer Brennan's behavior acceptable and the culture that protected him for 14 years. He presents updated data. Complaints down. Use of force down. Community trust up. Officer morale up. Cost savings, significant zero misconduct settlements in 6 months, compared to an average of $2.4 million per 6 months previously. The reforms work. Not because of punishment, because of accountability. 2 years later, October 2026, Marcus still serves as Police Oversight Commission Chair, but his influence extends far beyond one city. Now, 23 cities have adopted versions of his reform framework. Law enforcement journals call it the Reed Protocol, despite his protests. He didn't want his name on it. He wanted the ideas to spread regardless of who got credit. Federal legislation is pending in Congress. The Law Enforcement Accountability Act draws directly from his work. He's testified twice before congressional committees, presenting data, answering questions from both parties. Republicans ask about officer safety. Democrats ask about community impact. Marcus has answers for both because his reforms address both. The Atlantic publishes a feature, How One City Reformed Its Police Without Federal Intervention. The article goes viral in different circles. This time, policy experts, police chiefs, mayors looking for models that work. Officer recruitment in the city increases 34%. People want to work in a department with integrity, clear standards, real accountability. The reforms didn't hurt recruitment, they helped. Community police initiatives flourish. Basketball leagues, youth mentorship programs, mental health crisis teams pairing unarmed social workers with officers trained in de-escalation. Crime rates remain stable, contradicting critics who predicted reform would cause spikes. Turns out, treating people with respect doesn't make communities less safe. It makes them more safe, because people trust police enough to cooperate. Marcus still works ER shifts twice weekly, still teaches at the medical school. His medical license stays active. He's a doctor first, always has been. His kids, now 12 and 14, understand what happened that night. The family uses it as an ongoing conversation about systemic change versus individual revenge, about patience, about using whatever advantages you have to lift others. His wife, Angela, co-authors a law review article about civil rights enforcement mechanisms. She's proud of what Marcus built, but also relieved the death threats from Brennan's supporters finally stopped after 6 months. Marcus receives a letter one afternoon, forwarded through attorneys, handwritten, from Brennan. It's not an apology. It's defensive, self-pitying, blaming political correctness for his termination, claiming he was just doing his job, insisting he never did anything wrong. Marcus reads it once, files it away. Some people never learn. The system can't wait for individual enlightenment. It has to change anyway. He gives a TED Talk that same month. When the system targets you, change the system. The video receives 4.2 million views in 2 weeks. Comments pour in, from people sharing their own stories, thanking him for validating their experiences. His message emphasizes documentation as power. Record your encounters. Your phone is a civil rights tool. Evidence matters more than anger. He talks about using privilege strategically. My credentials gave me access to change policy. Use whatever advantage you have to lift others. If you're a doctor, use that. If you're a lawyer, use that. If you're a teacher, a pastor, a business owner, use that. Your voice matters more when the system can't dismiss you. He stresses patience. I didn't yell at Officer Brennan that night. I didn't fight. I didn't argue. I waited, gathered evidence, built coalitions, dismantled the system that created Brennan. Strategic thinking beats reactive emotion, every single time. Most importantly, he focuses on systems over individuals. Brennan, losing his job isn't justice by itself. Justice is the 18-year-old who won't be profiled next month because body cameras are always on and data is public. Justice is the grandmother who won't have to tell her grandson to keep his hands visible during traffic stops. Justice is the world we're building, not the punishment we deliver. These touching stories, these real-life stories of reform, show how Black stories can drive systemic change. Beat stories of injustice, become blueprints for accountability. In the final segment, Marcus speaks directly to the camera. If you've watched this far, you probably know someone with a similar story. Maybe it's your story. Maybe you've been pulled over for matching a description. Maybe you've been followed in a store for no reason other than the color of your skin. Maybe you've been told you don't belong somewhere you had every right to be. Maybe you've been questioned walking into your own office, your own building, your own home. Share your story in the comments. Document your experiences. Know your rights. Demand transparency from your city. Support reform organizations doing this work. I got justice because I had credentials and connections. But everyone deserves justice. That's what we're building. If this moved you, share this video. Subscribe to stay informed. Real-life stories create real change when enough people hear them. Asterisk, asterisk. If you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for caring about these stories. Thank you for understanding why they matter. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Marcus Reed's story isn't just about one night in a parking lot. It's about every person who's been profiled, questioned, handcuffed, humiliated simply for existing in a space where someone decided they didn't belong. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. It's about what happens when we stop accepting that's just how things are and start demanding this is how things should be. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. If this story moved you, hit that like button, drop a comment below, and tell me what part hit you the hardest. Was it the moment Marcus stayed calm while being handcuffed in his own workplace? The revelation of who he really was? The way he chose reform over revenge? I want to hear from you. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Subscribe to RealTales if you haven't already. We bring you stories like this every week. Real stories. Real people. Real change. Asterisk. 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 And share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Share it with someone who's experienced something similar. Share it with someone who still thinks these things don't happen. Asterisk. 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 Because stories like Marcus's don't just expose injustice. They become the blueprints for fixing it. Asterisk. 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 Until next time, this is RealTales. Thank you for watching. Asterisk. Asterisk.